by the end of this video, I want you to have a good idea about how you can easily lose weight. But first, as always, subscribe, stick around to the end, and check out the description for my coaching. Now, firstly, we must ask ourselves, what caused you to become fat and overweight? And many people think that the food group fat is the cause of people being fat. And while in some cases it can be, because fat is a highly calorific food group, which means that you're going to gain more weight because eating in a calorie surplus just means that you naturally gain weight. It's not actually the cause of most people in the modern society being fat, because the rise in obesity and the rise in cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases, heart attacks, actually directly correlates with the rise of sugar being extracted from things like fruits and things like corn syrup, malt, and stuff like that. It directly correlates with sugar being in our foods and sugar being like a big part of the food industry. And you may not quite understand this yet, but it is definitely worth something to think about if the fact that is the reason that I am fat and overweight right now because of sugar. Because the fact is so many people nowadays are either fat because they have a slow metabolism, and while that is like a common excuse for being fat, I talk about that in another video where I talk about bad genetics, binge eating is the main cause of people being fat and obese. Because binge eating is like actually quite a weird medical condition where you ravenously, aggressively and violently almost snack on food and find food to eat that's sugary and like fulfills your dopamine desire and addiction that you've got in your brain, because your brain needs dopamine, because every time you eat sugar your dopamine goes up and then it falls below baseline, and it's a whole complicated scientific process. But the basics is that sugar releases dopamine really quickly and really easily. You don't get it from delayed gratification activities, and that is essentially quite a bad thing for your mind and for your body. And sugar is not a satiating substance. It's a thing that has no nutritional value, because foods such as like Haribo's, chocolates, crisps are something that are called empty calories. Empty calories are calories that are literally just the proteins, the fats, and the carbs that are purely extracted from their base foods. So, for instance, a sugary snack like Haribo's and stuff has lots of calories because sugar's a carbohydrate, 4 calories per gram, and you eat this, you have calories, you gain weight, but you have no nutritional value, and so your blood sugar spikes. That's what kind of causes you to become obese. And I talk about that in a video called Sugar is Causing All Your Problems, but you can watch that if you want. But the fact is the like absence of nutritional value from sugary snacks means that it's just not satiating. And like you eat a packet of Haribo's or something, 30 minutes later you'll be so flipping hungry, and you'll like ravenously, aggressively, as I talked about earlier, try to find some like crisps or some more snacks because you just need the dopamine from sugar. And it's quite a weird cycle, and it's an aggressive loop of addiction and failure. And how exactly can we reverse this? Hopefully you have kind of been on self-improvement for a while if you watch this video, but if not, then the first thing is obviously to start exercising. But obviously, because so many people don't quite understand that diet is actually the majority of the reason of your or other people's success to weight loss, because 70% of like bodybuilders and other people's success is due to diet and 30% due to the actual training. You need to understand that without diet, having a good diet, the exercise that you may either currently be doing or are about to do is going to have a little impact if your diet is still subpar. You still eat sugary snacks and you still binge eat, but you still work out. You will eventually gain weight just the same as like other people, or you just won't lose weight just the same as other people who currently aren't exercising. And it will be a struggle for you, and it will be more of a struggle than it needs to be. And also, I'm just going to quickly go over something that you shouldn't do, and that is to have the complete wrong idea about fasting. Because there's this thing called intermittent fasting, right, which is like where you kind of skip a meal of the day. And for most people, this is breakfast. Most people just don't have breakfast anymore. And there's probably quite a big scientific debate about breakfast and fasting, which I've not researched that kind of subject enough. But the fact is when a lot of people who currently go on to doing fasting, they do their fasting, but because they are still so hungry, because they've just like they've started doing fasting, but they're still quite addicted to sugar, they'll still snack on things like cookies and biscuits and chocolate. Like people in my school, when they want to like lose weight and stuff, they won't have like a big normal meal from the canteen or something. They'll just like have a cookie and that'll be their meal. And that is just as bad as like it's kind of sad that people think that that's going to help them, because sugar is bad for you and it is unhealthy and it does cause you to gain weight and be fat. And that's having the wrong idea about fasting, because humans inherently have a sweet tooth, and you will be attracted to sugary stuff more than thingamages, because sugar has now been extracted from foods. The food companies put sugar in their foods for profit rather than for your health and your nutritional value. So you've got to watch out for that when you're buying food from the groceries nowadays. And yeah, it's kind of sad that this is how our world works now. And if you aren't having breakfast, you will just continue to snack, and then maybe you'll have lunch and dinner, and they may be healthy, but the fact that you're snacking on sugar so much because you're fasting, it doesn't work out for you. And many people actually say that having 3 balanced healthy meals a day is more beneficial to them than when they skip out breakfast and end up having like a little snack or something, which is probably sugary, because a lot of snacks nowadays contain sugar, unless it's like nuts and stuff. But that's a whole nother can of worms, snacks and stuff like that. But if you want to lose weight and you're currently a binge eater, one, the way to stop binge eating, and that's to kind of get over your addiction with sugar, you like put the thing that you're currently addicted to in front of you, and you just train your willpower so that you stop ravenously eating it. And hopefully that works for you, and you just like sit there with your biscuits or your sweets, and it's like right in front of you, and you just like watch it and like have it on your desk while you're doing some your work or you're studying and stuff like that. But the other thing that you should do is to eat 3 meals a day, incredibly like satiating meals that have that have really good nutritional value. And this is mostly for binge eaters. If you have a slow metabolism, and don't like fool yourself and BS yourself. If you know that you are a binge eater, don't say that you have slow. Don't like use the excuse that you have a slow metabolism and stuff like that. Realize that you may be a binge eater and you may be addicted to sugary stuff and snacks and stuff like that, and that you need to take the advice that you need to have 3 meals a day that are incredibly satiating, so that you stop eating sugar so ravenously and so aggressively, and that combined with the fact that you like train your willpower to not have to eat sugar so much, and you train your dopamine to kind of not rely on the sugary substances. Having satiating meals like white potatoes, which are incredibly satiating food because of the amount of nutrition that is in them, with your starches, your complex carbohydrates, your vitamins and your minerals, all that kind of stuff is going to fill you up so much, and you're not going to actually want to eat the sugar. It's going to be off your mind because your brain isn't saying that, oh, I'm hungry, start eating some food, I don't care what it is, just start eating, and then you're going to end up going to snacks. Hopefully that will like bridge the gap between like your lunch, your dinner, and then your breakfast the next day, your breakfast and your lunch, or whatever. Just eating satiating foods like eggs, white potatoes, salads, stuff like that are so nutritional for you. All that kind of good stuff is going to really benefit you if you're a binge eater, because it's going to help you, along with the like willpower tactics, it's going to help you to get your diet in a really much better shape than it probably was before. And if you think that you have a slow metabolism, hopefully you haven't bullshit yourself by saying, oh yeah, I have a slow metabolism, even if I currently eat loads of sugar and stuff like that, and I try to do fasting, but I just eat a sugary snack during the day and stuff like that. That's gonna kind of like, cancel out all of the progress that you've made by potentially fasting, because that is a good beneficial method, but because of the change that you're going through, I don't recommend doing it, because the big change going from eating loads of sugar to the day to eating absolutely nothing but like 2 satiating meals or something, it's a big change, and I recommend doing 3 because it's much more balanced for you. And I don't know, that's just my personal experiences and experiences that I've seen specifically from other people in my school and in my friends and stuff like that. But if you have slow metabolism, you want to eat 3 meals a day just like other people, but it's actually what's in those 3 meals that's more important. If you're a binge eater, it's not really what's in them that matters, as long as it's quite satiating and not sugary and not processed. But for slow metabolism people that genuinely do struggle to lose weight because they have a slow metabolism, I don't recommend fasting because, you know, you might end up like falling into the trap of eating loads of sugary snacks and stuff like that. But it's what's in the things that matters. And you do actually kind of want to go on your keto diets, your Atkins diets, your paleo diets that say that you should like cut down on carbohydrates. Because the reason is if your goal is weight loss right now, then 1 gram of carbohydrates, as well as containing 4 calories, 1 gram of carbohydrates actually holds 2.5 grams of water. So that is a combined 3.5 grams of food. Like for instance, if you ate 100 grams of oats, that actually ends up being 350 grams because it's 100 grams of oats and 250 grams of water. And that's why water weight is such an interesting topic in the fitness industry. But if your goal is weight loss, then you want to cut down on the carbs because obviously the fact that you're getting rid of all this water weight that you would have been previously eating before, if you were having lots of like carb centralized meals with pasta, rice, stuff like that, then you will lose weight because you will be getting rid of all that water weight. And the fruits and vegetables will absolutely save your life. And maybe like vegetarianism, paleo, keto, high fat, high protein diets will save you because they don't hold as much water, even if they are highly calorific. Because while having a lot of calories will make you gain weight, literal grams of water is obviously, that's like weight that's not really hugely nutritious to you, because it's just, well, of course water's good for you and stuff, but you probably intake enough water, hopefully, from just like your normal taps, your normal glasses, your normal water bottles, and that'd be good for you. But fruits and vegetables will save you because they're so nutritious, so full of vitamins and minerals that like you won't, I don't know. Fruits and vegetables are going to save you. High fat diets, high protein diets are going to save you. And there are loads of other videos on that you don't need me to go through explaining all that stuff, because there is so much better scientific based content. And while I like this channel because it is quite scientifically based, there are better channels out there that you can look at for like keto diets, paleo diets, because personally I've never tried that myself because I'm not actually trying to lose weight right now. I probably will in the future, but I'm currently on a bulk because I've been skinny my entire life. So yeah, that's me. And if you need any other help with weight loss and like weight gain, self-improvement stuff in general, then my coaching's in the description. I recommend subscribing because I love this community of tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. So good luck.